This is the Art Marketing Minute with Eric Rhoads, author of the Amazon best-selling book, Make More Money Selling Your Art. In the Marketing Minute, we answer your questions to help your art career. Brought to you by artmarketing.com, the place to go to learn more about marketing. Now, here's your host, art magazine publisher, Eric Rhoads.
Thank you, Jim Kipping, and thank you for joining us today. I am here. My goal is to eliminate the idea of the starving artist. So let's get right to today's questions. Now, here's an anonymous question from a listener, and I don't know the name. It came from social media. It says, I paint outside a lot, and I get a lot of compliments, but I'm wondering if it would be okay to set out a hat, much like street musicians, where I can collect tips. What do you think? Well, I spent a lot of time in the direct marketing world, and they have a saying, test everything. I think it's well worth trying it and testing it. But keep in mind that if you encourage more viewing of your performance, then it might be disruptive. I'd test it though. I'd put out a hat, throw some money in it to prime it, so to speak, so that no one wants to be first, right? They want to see the social proof that somebody else has put money in. I'd also try a hat with a sign that says something like, I make my living as an artist, or I'm a starving artist, anything you can do to help. Any tip will help, and try it both ways and see which one works. I think it's worth trying. Why not? And of course, if you want to gather people around and have them watch, that's fine too. You could also put on your sign, paintings are available for sale. And of course, you could put some out that are for sale if you want to do that. There are really no rules. I think everything should be tried and tested if you're comfortable with it, long as it's ethical. Now, the next question comes from Peter in New York, who says, I appreciate listening to the podcast on YouTube. Yes, we put it there too. Any marketing tips for getting into fine art galleries would be interesting. Thank you. Well, I'm happy to help, Peter. We've talked about this a lot, and we continue to. You might want to do a couple things. First off, listen to some other art marketing podcasts, and also Art Marketing Minute podcast, and also go to artmarketing.com, where I've got a lot of articles and things about this. But the first thing is to put yourself in the shoes of the gallery. What is it they want? What are they trying to do? What do they need? What will make their job easier? They want artists who are going to sell and sell well, who are going to make money for them, who don't sit and take up valuable wall space without selling. So how can you prove to them you're that artist? Next, ask yourself what their life is like. My friend at a gallery in New York is annoyed by all the email and mail and packages he gets from artists soliciting him. Most of it goes in the trash without ever looking. Now, he can find artists on his own, and he can get referrals to artists. And this looking at all the emails and packages is a giant time suck, so he just doesn't do it. He just ignores it. Now, most artists don't do their homework. He says that he doesn't sell any modern or abstract paintings, yet more than half of the artists who send in are sending in modern or abstract paintings. That's just more of a waste of time. So do your homework. I have a whole volume on getting into galleries in my video series, and I touch on it pretty heavily in my book, Make More Money Selling Your Art. But the best thing to do is to get invited, to not push yourself. Now, sometimes you can, but it can backfire on you too. So if somebody's too pushy, somebody doesn't want to deal with you. You need a strategy to get invited in, and I go into depth on that in some of my videos. But the bottom line is, how can you get them to invite you without ever calling them, without ever emailing them, and without ever mailing them a bunch of stuff to make them aware of you? Ask yourself that question. How could I get them to invite me in? There's actually a lot of ways. Why don't you sit down and write down 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 or 20 ways that get somebody to invite you in without calling, emailing, or mailing? Now, if you can answer that question, you're going to solve the problem. I'll let you think about that. Well, this has been the Art Marketing Minute with me, Eric Rhoads. My goal in life is to eliminate the idea of the starving artist and to help your dreams actually come true. So if you want to submit questions, simply email eric@artmarketing.com. And to learn more about marketing ideas, you can visit artmarketing.com. Thanks for listening.